Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Jack, what do you think of volatility? In general, the pair value volatility, do you see it coming back, or do you think that, we've seen very little range in most of these? A little bit more, I guess, this week, but, I guess the last 3 months, not much at all. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, it's obviously a better environment to, I think, to buy a put or a call if you get it right, especially,
right.
The direction here because of the volatility. Premiums tend to be a little lower. But we've had such a one-way market. That's why the volatilities are so low. I would guess. It depends whether we come out of here and automatically start trending the other way, whether we continue the trend or we go into a big ranging market. And I don't know the answer to that.
Yes, we never do. Although you might want to add, as Jack was saying, you add some of these things to your indicators. Maybe you would do that also. You watch the premiums. What I found interesting, Jack, is that this week and I think you and I saw you a couple weeks ago and we talked about this, and again this week with the what I called it sort of a scare factor, the idea that the dollar is really getting hit hard, but the option premiums were going nowhere. And it just, I don't know what that really means. There's a lot of complacency that the dollar is going to bottom out, at least in the options market. But each and every day, the dollar seems to go lower, and the option premiums are saying that we're probably not going to have a huge downdraft. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a crossover where I think some of the institutional people think, we're just going to have a steady, trending, falling market. Some of them, obviously think that the dollar's overdone and will turn, but those that I think are still bearish think it's going to be a steady, not type of spike down dollar crisis market. The retail side of the fence, because of, the way the newsletter writers try and scare people in the retail world, see it as a giant, dollar panic move and a giant spike down. If the institutional players saw that, I think you'd see the volatilities, start to rise more. So I think there's a bit of a disconnect there. That's not saying we can't get into a dollar crisis, and the newsletters writers be exactly right. They've been right for a while, but that may be some of the disconnect.
That's a great point, Jack. It really is. The institutional folks don't see it, but yeah, the newsletter writers have been right, and so we'll see how it goes. But keep your eye on the volatilities, that's for sure. Jack, what about? And this is something that I think I've asked you this question before, but let's just do it again. Farrell wants to know if what do you think about China and them actually taking the peg away from the dollar? Any likelihood in the next 12 or 24 months to do that?
Taking their peg, them no longer pegging their currency to the dollar?
Yes.
No, I don't see that in the next 10 or 12 to 24 months. You may see them widen the band and allow the currency to appreciate more than it has in the past, but I don't think you're going to see them unpeg because if China's in a situation, they're kind of linked, tightly to the dollar for a whole lot of reasons linked to the U.S. But for them to really create a free-floating currency, they have to make their currency convertible. And with their capital controls at the moment, it's not, it's not convertible. And the other side of the fence is, I don't think we're going to see like a one-off major evaluation, like a 40% increase or something that a lot of the economists think the currency is undervalued by 30-40%. I don't think we're going to see that type of move either, because China wouldn't see that as helping them. And China will always do, no matter how much pressure internationally, no matter what anybody says, what helps them first. And at the moment, the peg is still beneficial to China.
Great point. Jack, you had a great letter this morning, the Currency Currents. I just loved it, the idea that, that we as in the U.S., no matter what the government says, it seems like, we have an implicit weak dollar policy, and it might not be in our best interest. If all the attendees, if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, and Jack, again, it was great, Jack. I really applaud you.
Thank you.
Writing was awesome. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, sign up for the Currency Currents. You can go to blackswantrading.com and just sign up. It's that easy. I'm sure you'll get some insights into the currency markets, and then, of course, the currency markets influence everything else. And as Jack pointed out, what's going on with commodities? What's happening with gold? Well, why do you think that gold is going where it is? Well, a lot of it has to do with the dollar itself. So please sign up. Jack, I want to thank you. You did a great job today. One person said that, they were studying technical analysis, and you were just spot on and helped them sort of summarize a lot of what they've learned over the last couple of months. So I know you said it's a very simple presentation, but sometimes, keeping it simple is best. So I'd like to actually hand it back to you for a closing comment before we, say good evening to everyone.
Yeah, just thank you, Steve. Thank you, the ISE, again, for the opportunity. And I would really, I think Steve just summed up my closing is really keep it simple here, because there's so many factors here, and if we can, price, of course, is the most, important driver, and if you can focus on that, and then just provide some basic nuance from your reading and your analysis, I think you'll build something, in your mind, in your trading that you can stick with and build confidence with, and just improve over time, and that ultimately is the goal. Just making those little marginal improvements to your system at the edge, and it's tough to do that when they're very, very complicated. So always, I would say, start simplistic and move up, and add more nuance and complication. But I think you'll find that once you start doing that, you'll go back to the more simple approaches. I think it's something we can all have confidence in.
Yeah, it makes sense, Jack. When I teach options, that's what I try to do. Just try to remind everybody to keep it simple, and you just made it very simple today. So we can all take that as something that we might want to think about over the next couple of days and weeks, months. I think it's.
I have to remind myself, because a lot of times, we're so caught up in this, watching it every day. I know just for my own, so I try and get cute and try and pick tops and bottoms, and it usually comes back to bite me and doesn't help my clients. So this was good for me too.
I'm glad, Jack. I know. Just to remind everyone, Jack has his Currency Currents. He manages money, so he does a lot of different things. He has a paid subscription, so you can go to blackswantrading.com and sign up for any of those services. Jack, thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. You guys, thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
I just want to remind everyone that Jack will be back soon. Jack's going to be back on October 22nd, talking about global trading impact on the currency markets. Next week, we have Jason Ayers spotting the right entry points for using FX options. So there'll be a lot more coming in the future weeks. We have an options calculator at fxoptions.com, among other things. You can sign up for the webinars. We archive everything, so if you want to go back and listen to today's presentation, that'll be available tomorrow. We have trade alerts. We have FX Options TV, weekly outlook. There are, Jack has written some articles that you can, Euro implosion that you can read. So there's so much there. I would highly recommend that you go to fxoptions.com, check it out, and please come back to us at the ISE each and every Tuesday and sometimes Thursday. And please, again, go and check out blackswantrading.com. Again, there's a lot there. So thank you, everyone. I want to, again, thanks for joining us today at the ISE. This is Steve Meisinger, your host, saying have a great trading day tomorrow, and please come back and join us real soon. Take care now.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.isc.com/podcasts.